Thanks for having us here.
All I can say, Richard, is I know you have nothing to worry about.
Welcome to this meeting of the Cemetery Board. It's always a pleasure and delight to see you all, to hear from you. I trust we'll have some discussion at the public session of the meeting. And without further ado, a half hour later, I'll introduce myself. I'm Dan Shapiro. I'm Secretary of State, Cesar Morales' designated chair.
Bob Welch, Commissioner Reach, designee Department of Health.
I'm Chris Wiles, and I'm a designee of Attorney General Eric Schneider.
Richard Fishman, Director of Division of Cemetery.
Tony Malillo, Counsel to the Cemetery Board.
Right. So why don't we just get started? Minutes of the previous meeting, folks, did you have an opportunity to review? Comments, questions?
None.
I didn't either. That's maybe the first time ever. So, oh yeah, you know what? We didn't go down the other members of the division.
Would you stand up?
That's right. We need to know you.
Chuck Buskowitz, Assistant Director of Division Secretary.
Howard Carr, Associate Accountant, Division of Cemeteries.
Joe Ambrose, Associate Accountant, Division of Cemeteries. Mike Thielman, Senior Investigator, Division of Cemeteries.
Great. Thanks.
Richard Folk, Cemetery. Rich Bucky, Accountant, Cemetery.
The new face. Thank you, everybody. All right, can we make a motion on the minutes yet?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Legislation, regulation.
Yep. There's been some action on some bills in your report. The big event was the passage of the budget, which included a provision for the establishment of a state veteran cemetery, which had an initial investigation period of 180 days and then a period for local governments to apply and for funding to be received. And then once there's funding and applications, then a decision on establishing the first veteran cemetery to follow.
Okay. Anybody, Rich, you have any comments on the status of that federal cemetery and what your thoughts are on that? Why don't we talk about that now?
To go to the hospital? Yeah, I mentioned it to this.
Oh, you did?
But,
Oh, but I wasn't here to hear that.
Okay. It was going to be 200 acres, but they changed it to 100 acres. But it's right on the outskirts of the Buffalo metropolitan area. It is what it is.
Yeah, but I don't anticipate that coming to fruition.
Well, it's going to.
By any time, if it ever does.
Well, it's a threat. It does.
Rules and regulations, Tony?
Nothing more in that area.
Nothing else? Okay. Nothing coming on that. We are waiting for.
We are waiting for authority to officially file. And it hasn't come down. I keep checking.
All right. All right. Have you already given the report, Richard? Or
Yeah.
It was found. Okay. Did we have any discussion about implants and where we are with that? No. Okay, why don't we talk about that for just a bit?
Sure.
Now, Tony, you have some preliminary thoughts.
Right.
Why don't you provide them to the folks here, and then we'll have some discussion.
Well, really what I was looking at, the issue is there are a number of crematories that have been approached by recyclers about recycling precious metals, implants and devices, prosthetics that remain after a cremation has occurred. And the recycling companies are offering a fee for receiving that material. And the question is, may a crematory do that? May it deliver the materials to the recycling may receive the fee? And in reviewing cemetery law, everything seems to lead toward the fact that any remains other than the actual human cremains are treated as foreign material, and foreign material is supposed to be disposed of properly. So under our laws, as long as the recycler you're delivering to is legitimate and you're probably delivering items for recycling, you're complying with the law. And there's nothing in the statutes prohibiting you from receiving a fee for that. So just from looking at cemetery law, and I've also looked at health law, there doesn't seem to be any issues with regard to that practice. I've also looked at other states. There's one state, Washington State, that actually has a regulation on this. There's also these industries that have developed have websites. It's become a very, I guess, a cottage industry. And what they're promoting is because there's some discomfort with receiving money from what's left after cremation, a lot of them suggest setting up, donating the money to charitable causes as a way of dealing with any discomfort about receiving fees. So that's as far as
So we've had some discussion, and just to set the framework a little bit, this is really the first time that we've looked at it from the perspective of these things that have value. In past conversations and in past cemetery board meetings, we've talked about the danger of cremating implants, and there was concern about that, and I think those concerns have been largely addressed. But this is a new one. This is, oh my goodness, these things have value. What does that mean for the next of kin? What's the legal relationship what's their possessory rights, if any? And Tony's research, as he said, so far, with respect to at least cemetery law, the law that we know and go under, once that body is delivered for cremation, there are no possessory rights. It's all been taken care of. So, in discussions with Tony, it occurred to me anyway, and I want to open up to the board members if they have any thoughts about it, that our inquiry probably shouldn't stop there. The establishment of a possessory right goes well before, prior to any delivery of the remains for cremation. It really goes back to, I would guess, the funeral director, or even beyond the funeral director, to whoever had possession of the body before it was given to a funeral director to establish a possessory right. And I don't know what the law is over there. All I know is that once folks get it for cremation, it's all right to do what has been done. Now, Tony suggested some entities providing the money to charity. We're not interested in that. All right? That's not our role to tell you what to do. Okay, with respect to the money. Our role is to make sure that it's being done in accordance with the law. And at this point, anyway, we're pretty well convinced that what has been happening in the industry is appropriate. We have discussed in past board meetings the possibility of notification, which we provide to next of kin. However, in reviewing Tony's research, it seems to me that notification is late. I'm all wet. It seems to me that notification is late in the game, coming from the crematory to the next of kin or the funeral director, that has to be earlier. And it really might be a funeral director issue, or prior to that. I'm not sure. Anybody have any thoughts on that? We haven't discussed this outside of this meeting.
I would say continue the research based upon what Tony's presented so far. Seems logical. It makes sense. Other than that, I don't have any further comments.
I think if we were going to do anything, something like that.
Okay. We're going to continue to research the issue, and I think that we'd like to offer to help with that with respect to what the funeral director's role might be, should be, or if everything is fine. There may be, as far as I know, there may be disclosures right now. I do not know that. If anybody in the audience knows what the practice is, I'd be happy to hear from you. By the way, folks, anybody who does cremation, what do you do with the valuable records? Does anybody have any experience with that here? Yeah.
I'm from Cedar Hill Cemetery, and we have crematory on premises, and we do recycle. I want to say probably on a quarterly basis, $40 to $100.
Right.
Occasionally, we do have a family that requests to have the implant returned to them. So we have done that on occasion.
Yeah, that's interesting. And how do they come to you? Do you have any kind of disclosure that you make to the family, the funeral director, when you get the?
We did, yes. We had them sign that they were receiving it back from us.
Right. How were you apprised that they wanted it back? They just came directly to you?
The funeral director notified us.
Okay.
We donate the proceeds to a very worthwhile 501c3 based on an informal opinion we received from the director of the division, I think 5 or 6 years ago. I would suggest, though, I'm good at saving emails. But I would ask that since we're not really allowed to have an additional agreement with the family besides the authorization for cremation, that perhaps the place to look is that authorization just to possibly tighten up the language if it's not covered already. That's it. That would be great for us.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. We'll take a look at that. Right, Tom? Okay. Good. Thank you. Yes.
Such a note in the authorization for cremation, state authorization, I believe there's a statement in there, anything valuable is incumbent on the family to remove it before,
Yeah.
so I don't see an issue.
Yeah, I don't think there's a legal issue. As I said, at the point where the cemetery gets the remains for disposition, there may be, to my mind, the issue is further back, or further back in time, to when the family can express it.
The only issue I would have is after cremation, it's okay, but before cremation, I would find that an issue. Sometimes some of the families are removed beforehand.
Right.
I would find that an issue, because I look at it this way. If you're burying mom in a casket, it's going in the ground, that's how it should go. Not under tap. You're tapping the casket. Okay? And same thing with cremation. Once cremation is done, it's done. So I look at that as some facilities can use before. I have a problem with that.
Well, if I may.
Yeah, please do.
There are limited rights to open a cremation container before cremation. And I don't believe removing that kind of material fits in any of the...
Well, it can be
rights.
removed without opening it.
If it's an enclosed container, it should be open. So I would agree with you that the best practice would be
After the fact, I mean,
Right.
we have to pay a company to dispose of that material to the court. So we can recover some of that cost, right?
Yep, that's no problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. Anybody else? Great. All right, so, let's see. Cemetery donating funds to other not-for-profits.
Yeah, that comes back to me also. This came up, Rich brought it up, I think it was 2 months ago. And he saw cases where funds were going from cemeteries to the Friends of organization. And my recollection at the time was when we had the Maple Grove issue, that we raised the issue of Maple Grove giving this money to other not-for-profits. So I looked back, and in fact, Maple Grove did give money to the local school district. They had cut their arts funding and they were giving significant amounts of money to the local school district to continue the arts funding.
it took us 2 months for you to tell us. All right. To me, the bottom line is I think they probably can. I don't think it's unlawful, to donate money to another not-for-profit. I think the issue is whether it's in the cemetery's best interest or not.
Yeah, what we saw with Maple Grove, it was substantial sums at a time that, because of everything that was going on, their general fund was decreasing rapidly. So the circumstances there were unique.
Yeah, we felt that no reasonable line could differ. That back then, due to the fiduciary applications.
Dan, before you move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could speak to that, John Paulson, Woodlawn. I think there's only a few cemeteries in the whole state that operate their own 501c3 foundation or friends. I may be wrong, but I believe there's just a handful of it. But in our case, the 501c has allowed us a vehicle to attract government and private grant money. Just the last year, we've received $550,000 from 2 sources for restoration of Book County Cemetery. And it could only be given to a 501c3, not a 13. So in our case, we maintain that there is a benefit for the cemetery to maintain a 501c3 as long as they operate it correctly.
Yeah,
And the money appropriate.
I don't necessarily disagree. This came up in that context, and that's why Tony's taking a look. But it seems to me perfectly reasonable exercise of discretion. And in fact, if it moves to the cemetery, then that's great. Right? When we were just discussing a situation where it was clear to us, at least, that in fact the cemetery was acting against its own interest for whatever reason. And so I think that was a different. That's sort of two sides of the spectrum.
That's not one thing, Mike.
Yeah, no, we understand.
Yes, I just wanted to add, in response to Tony's comment about picking it up with charity sport, I used to do that charity sport, but I think the ultimate question is probably going to come back to you again. It'll be, as you kind of discussed, the contrast between a friend of versus a school. If not, that's an issue. Cemetery, most of it might be particularly donor impact. So if the law and the donor going towards the extra money to be going to certain use, like intensive care, then as long as it's still going there, that's probably going to be the next factor.
Thank you. Good. Well, vandalism report, Mr. Buckowitz. That'd be my surprise. By the way, this is a great microphone system. I mean, like, everybody can hear, right? Amazing. That's a nice change.
I don't think I'll need it. For the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2013, the vandalism fees collected were $443,412. Applications granted were $688,746. Applications pending, $632,069. Of the applications granted, 4 were for vandalism, 35 were for restoration, and 1 was for abandoned cemetery.
Very good.
I have 1 copy if anybody wants it.
But I think the important number there is 443,000 we collected. It's flat. It's the same amount, more or less, every year for the last 6-7 years, which suggests that the death rate in New York is flat. Where you expect maybe, up and down a little bit, or maybe up in some cases, aging population. The aging population is moving out. So, it is what it is.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, so we've got 4 orders to discuss. First, I guess, why don't we take Mount Calvary and North Park together? Do you have one comment to make on that? And my comment is that it's an interesting interesting, when we first started the dangerous monument thing, one of the scenarios we foresaw was that it might be much cheaper to put a granite marker down than to fix a monument. And it's amazing, in every single case, it seems that is not true. So my expectations were not met. In fact, in these two waters, we do have estimates for replacements by a granite marker, and they come in more expensive than fixing the existing monuments. And by the way, fixing the existing is preferable, I think, especially with respect to the character of the cemetery. But we were trying to safeguard the public risk, and it turns out that doing that means, by and large, fixing the existing monuments. Did anybody have any questions on those two? We have a motion. So moved. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. So that's Mount Calvary North Park. Then we have Hillside Cemetery. I have nothing on that item. Anybody? Okay, want a motion for Hillside? So moved. Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. You second. All right, Greenbush Cemetery is a land purchase of some 0.2 acres. Can somebody tell us about that?
No, that's a dangerous monument.
Oh, do I have a dangerous monument? Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped right over. All right, I have no problem with Greenbush either. Anybody have any problems with Greenbush? All right. Motion? So moved. Second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I can't look at my agenda, you see that? I'm all screwed up today. All right. West Henrietta Riverview. Is West Henrietta here, by any chance? Okay. Can somebody tell us about the land purchase?
Riverview Cemetery has an opportunity to purchase 2/10 of an acre from a buddy lot owner. The payment is going to be 12 graves, and I think it's important to note that the 12 graves are going to be located in a portion that's donated to the cemetery. So because they want to retain those graves, it is necessary to land sale. So the cost of those 12 graves at current prices is $6,000. So that's, there are appraisals that are kind of close to that, and city recommended approval, I think.
Right. And how many potential interments are there?
I think it's 40 determined.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have a dollar figure that represents?
Well, at 500, didn't indicate actually it's 110 additional graves.
Okay.
With the 2 times an acre. So $500 to $5,000.
Now, this cemetery only does about 3 burials a year, so that's that's a long way out. But it also provides a method of ingress, right? The gravel, is the gravel road there already, or are they intending to put that in?
Cindy?
There's a little gravel entrance that comes to that, but it looks like they might expand it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In their petition, they had said only 40 graves, but if you use the formula, they can develop more than that in the back, and they could also go down that roadway a little bit in the future if they wanted to.
It provides other means of access to the cemetery, to the back acreage. Is that what
It
you're-
might widen it. It's kind of a dangerous access anyway. So if they could come down the hill a little bit to get in there, it probably would make it a little safer because people are coming right over a rise when you go to pull in.
All right. Okay, and you recommend that this be approved?
Yes,
Which is a good thing.
I think so.
Okay. Any questions?
Mike, is there also included in the purchase price that the cemetery has to pay the closing costs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
pretty
35.
much what the land.
Questions, discussion? You okay? Okay. Motion? Second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Is that really it for the agenda? So real short, I guess we keep it short so we can have a conversation. So that's the end of the agenda for the board, other than public comments, conversation, discussion. I don't see, is it Crumb's here? He hasn't beaten me up about fun? All right.
Hang around, he'll be here later.
I am a masochist at heart. So, would anybody like to address the board about any topic whatsoever? Yes.
Funds for free removal and disposal from Hurricane Sandy, any FEMA or state funds available yet?
We haven't had a whole heck of a lot of success with that. And that's a question that I'd like to ask of anybody here, if they've had any contact with FEMA, had any experience with them. Yeah.
FEMA gave us the answer, they've given
That's
all
always
cemeteries that we're not covered. We tried the historic site route, and we're not dead yet, but we're not optimistic.
Sure, because I had some contacts with FEMA, and although I got a receptive ear, I couldn't get anywhere with it. All right. Do you have a specific contact with FEMA you're working with?
We do. I don't have it, but we would give it.
I'd be more than happy to get involved in that. And tell me, because they don't recognize, they don't understand that this is not like other states. Cemeteries are, in essence, almost like akin to a public utility. All right, we treat it differently.
What they made us do was apply for a loan. Before they would consider our application, we had to apply for a loan, even whether we took it or not. We had to apply for it, which we did. It's a lot of federal government. It's a lot of paperwork.
Right. Well, if you can tell me if you think I could be helpful, or Tony can be helpful, let us know, or Richard will be more than happy to weigh in on that.
I have a comment about that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the reality is, the county that I am in, which is Nassau right now, was spent about $70+ million, give or take, another 10 or 20 million on tree removal and stuff, between hiring consultants to evaluate the trees. And the county spent the money which FEMA is reimbursing them for. I don't expect FEMA to reimburse any business directly. They really only have homeowners. However, the FEMA funds that are coming into the state, which are then going to the counties, possibly somewhere in the state they can earmark a percentage of that to, basically this is part of the municipal stuff that the counties are doing on private land, on trees, on streets. The cemeteries should be included in those funds because those funds are significant. I mean, like I said, in Nassau County alone, it's probably going to be close to $100 million by the time the bill is paid.
Right, but you're not getting any money from the county.
No, but the county's getting money from the government. We're hoping that the government can also suggest the county.
The money gets funneled through the state to the county also. So what we're requesting is that the board requests of the state that monies that they're getting from federal funding that be funneled, that you guys, in a sense, funnel it to us.
Okay. We'll follow up on that. Good, all right.
Just from a historic perspective.
How you doing, Joe?
I understand. Just from our federally declared disaster back in '06, I believe it was, Friday the 13th. We appealed 3 times to FEMA. We were denied on the 3rd and final appeal based on the regs that particularly calls out cemeteries not eligible. Perhaps my good friend in Greater New York will be looked at much more a historical museum because that's allowed in the reg for FEMA reimbursement. We did take out the loan. It's a fixed interest rate, an SBA federal disaster loan. We're still paying that off. It was $1 million loan from the federal government against $1.7 million in damage. But I thought the municipal assistance bill would allow just what you described, which has been passed, where if you could get the municipality to actually come in and do the work, or have the storm cleanup people do the work, the municipality now has cover to get reimbursement for the work done in the cemetery. Isn't that how that law works?
Yeah, frankly, I'm not all that familiar with it, so I can't comment with any expertise. Which now allows towns to Oh, I thought you were talking in the FEMA context.
No,
Oh,
no.
sure, well, yeah, and whether or not they I don't know whether towns can provide funding. Maybe Mr. Fleming has a comment.
Actually, towns have from Hurricane Sandy, but some towns have done the work themselves, and they are, putting that in their pool of claim for reimbursement in the effective now.
That's
It's an hourly
been
charge
fine.
that's reimbursable as well as the equipment charge, but not every town is in a position to do that. Towns have done that, and if anyone has the ability to talk to the local officials, that would be a good avenue to get around the fact that you want to apply yourself, you could have the town do it on your behalf. If you're only interested in the work getting done by someone else, as opposed to being reimbursed directly.
Maybe, if you want to, maybe folks can go to you, actually, to get, examples of that. I'd love to have the examples also, and that might be a very good tool when somebody's approaching their officials. They don't know, right, perhaps, but if they see it's been done before, might be something that they think they can do.
George?
We're a town home cemetery, and we did get reimbursed through FEMA because the town, municipality did. We have a management corporation who runs the town home cemetery. And what we did was we put in all the hours that our guys spent on cleaning up and cutting down trees, and we were reimbursed that money. And that went along with the highway department and then the recreation department in the town that got reimbursed for cleanup work. It's possible to go through the town.
I had written a letter to Richard requesting that we have a $50 surcharge for the cleanup, and he said, well, wait to see what FEMA. I'm Barrenhurst Cemetery, and New York City's not going to do anything for me, and we're not seeing any FEMA money. Is it possible to add a surcharge that would be on for a year or two? We've incurred a huge number of storms in the last 2 or 3 years. Just to recover some of the cost. It's not going to cover all of it, but at least it will help.
So how would you propose the surcharge be assessed against the...
On every funeral, the way we do on any other surcharge that
Well,
goes on.
That's an interesting proposition and not crazy. The cost of providing the service, all right, the term, has been is more because we're providing more costs for the general upkeep of the cemetery. So you have a rational base, you have a predicate to say that in fact my cost of business has to pass that along to the consumer. I like to keep it on a temporary basis. Reminds us it's a fuel surcharge, but that's all dollars and cents stuff, and that goes into the rate. So it's certainly something for us to consider if you want to have further discussions with Richard and division with respect to what the appropriate rate should be.
I had requested this at the end of the year.
Right.
So that it would be approved for the January increase. And then he said, we'll wait and see what FEMA does, and obviously FEMA's doing nothing.
Yep. You could put it in your regular rate application, all right, where you figure in the cost and disperse it appropriately and have a part of your rate. The rate, and if those numbers work out, they work out. That's something for you and the division to discuss. If then 3 years later the rate no longer applies because it's diminished, it's done the cleanup, then the rate goes down. So I think you can really put that in your rate application if you choose to.
So then I have to wait till next year?
Well, no, I'm not saying that's the only vehicle. I mean, if there's a reason for us to do something more immediately, that's possible. If that, again, as Richard has said, discuss that with Richard will.
All right, please consider that. I know that 2 of us on Staten Island put in for that, the 2 cemeteries that we break for that.
Okay.
I don't have what Joe has. My cemetery isn't the size of Joe's. But, I had men working all winter cleaning up trees. They're still finding trees.
Right. Anybody else? Well, again, my apologies for my late arrival. But an executive session calendar today, or can I just push it off?
Check with Jeff.
Yeah, no, I think there's nothing that, pressing, nothing we have to make a resolution or determination. So, with that being said, I'll, ask for a motion to adjourn. So move. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks again, everybody. Appreciate the opportunity.
Good luck.